Hello, future chemists. Welcome to an exciting journey into the world of chemical bonding and molecular structure, specifically focusing on a fascinating concept, resonance. Have you ever wondered why some molecules seem to have multiple identities or why bonds aren't always what they appear to be? Today, we'll unravel these mysteries. We'll start with the basics, then dive deeper into its mechanics, explore its profound implications, and finally, tackle competitive-level challenges. Get ready to enhance your understanding of how molecules truly behave. Let's begin our exploration with the fundamentals of resonance. What is it, and why do we need it to understand molecular structures? Imagine trying to describe a complex person with just one simple label. It's often not enough, right? Similarly, for many molecules, a single Lewis structure can't accurately represent their true bonding. That's where resonance comes in. It's a conceptual tool that helps us describe the delocalization of electrons within certain molecules or polyatomic ions. Instead of one fixed structure, we use a set of hypothetical Lewis structures, called resonance structures, to show how electrons are spread out. These individual resonance structures, also known as canonical forms, are like snapshots of electron arrangements. We connect them with a special double-headed arrow, signifying that the actual molecule isn't rapidly switching between these forms, but rather exists as a single, averaged structure, the resonance hybrid. Think of a mule, which is a hybrid of a horse and a donkey. It's not sometimes a horse and sometimes a donkey, it's always a mule. The resonance hybrid is always more stable than any single contributing structure. Benzene is a classic example, where its two Kekulé structures combine to form a hybrid with identical carbon-carbon bond lengths, showcasing this enhanced stability. Now, let's test your basic understanding of resonance with these 3 quick practice questions. Read each question carefully and choose the best answer. This will help solidify your grasp on the introductory concepts. Great job with the basics. Now, let's step up our game and dive into the medium level, where we'll explore the conditions and deeper implications of resonance. For resonance to occur, molecules need a special arrangement called conjugation. This means having alternating single and multiple bonds, or a multiple bond next to an atom with a lone pair or an empty orbital. This setup allows electrons to spread out, or delocalize, over several atoms. This electron delocalization is key. It's like having a shared bank account instead of individual ones. The money, or electrons, is more spread out and thus more stable. This extra stability gained is what we call resonance energy. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence for resonance is the equalization of bond lengths. Take the carbonate ion, for example. If there were no resonance, we'd expect one carbon-oxygen double bond and 2 single bonds, meaning different lengths. But experiments show all 3 carbon-oxygen bonds are identical and intermediate in length, proving the electrons are delocalized. We also need to consider formal charges. Stable resonance structures minimize these, placing negative charges on more electronegative atoms. Let's look at more examples. In the carbonate ion, we can draw 3 equivalent resonance structures, showing how the negative charge is distributed among the oxygen atoms and how all CO bonds gain partial double bond character. The nitrate ion also beautifully illustrates this concept, with its 3 equivalent structures leading to delocalized negative charge and uniform NO bond lengths. These examples clearly demonstrate how resonance leads to a more stable and symmetrical electron distribution. You've now grasped the medium-level concepts of resonance. It's time to apply this knowledge. Here are 5 practice questions designed to test your understanding of conjugation, electron delocalization, and bond length equalization. Take your time, think critically, and choose the best option for each. Excellent work! Ready to elevate your understanding? Let's move to the hard level, where we'll dissect the intricate rules and differentiate resonance from other related concepts. To accurately draw resonance structures, we must follow strict rules. Remember, only electrons, specifically pi electrons and lone pairs, can move. Atomic nuclei remain fixed. The total number of valence electrons and the net charge must stay constant. Structures that satisfy the octet rule for most atoms, especially second-row elements, are generally more stable. We also aim to minimize formal charges, placing negative charges on more electronegative atoms. The more covalent bonds a structure has, the more stable it usually is, making it a major contributor to the overall hybrid. Not all resonance structures are created equal. Some contribute more significantly to the actual resonance hybrid than others. These major contributors are typically more stable, adhering better to rules like complete octets and minimal charge separation. It's crucial to distinguish resonance from tautomerism. Resonance involves delocalization of electrons within a single, static structure, represented by multiple hypothetical forms. Tautomerism, however, involves the actual movement of atoms, usually a hydrogen atom, leading to a rapid equilibrium between two distinct structural isomers. It's a real chemical process, unlike the conceptual nature of resonance structures. Resonance energy isn't just a concept. It's a measurable quantity that reflects the extra stability a compound gains from electron delocalization. We can estimate it by comparing the experimentally determined energy of a molecule with the calculated energy of its most stable non-resonating structure. A larger resonance energy signifies greater stability. Factors like the electronegativity of atoms, the completeness of octets, the degree of charge separation, and the total number of covalent bonds all influence how much each resonance structure contributes and, consequently, the overall resonance energy. Understanding these factors helps us predict molecular behavior and stability more accurately. You've navigated the complexities of hard-level resonance. Now, it's time to solidify your knowledge with these 7 challenging practice questions. These questions require a deeper understanding of the rules, major contributors, and the distinctions between related concepts. Good luck! Congratulations on mastering the hard level. Now, prepare to push your limits as we enter the hardest level, delving into the advanced competitive insights and real-world applications of resonance. Resonance is not just a theoretical concept, it's fundamental to understanding aromaticity. Aromatic compounds, like benzene, gain extraordinary stability due to extensive electron delocalization, perfectly described by Huckel's rule. This rule highlights how a specific number of pi electrons in a cyclic, planar, conjugated system leads to exceptional resonance stabilization. Furthermore, it's vital to differentiate resonance from hyperconjugation. While both involve electron delocalization, resonance typically involves pi electrons and lone pairs in p orbitals, offering a stronger stabilizing effect, whereas hyperconjugation involves sigma electrons delocalizing into adjacent empty or partially filled p orbitals, a weaker but still significant effect. The power of resonance extends deeply into organic reaction mechanisms, offering explanations for stability and reactivity. For instance, allylic and benzylic carbocations are remarkably stable because the positive charge is effectively delocalized across multiple carbon atoms through resonance, spreading the charge and reducing its intensity. Similarly, allylic and benzylic carbanions benefit from resonance stabilization. In the realm of acidity and basicity, resonance is a game changer. Carboxylic acids are significantly more acidic than alcohols because their conjugate base, the carboxylate ion, is extensively resonance stabilized, making it a weaker base and thus the parent acid stronger. This principle helps us predict chemical behavior and reaction pathways. From a molecular orbital theory perspective, resonance isn't just a convenient drawing convention, it's the physical reality of electron distribution. Electrons don't just reside in localized bonds between two atoms. Instead, they occupy delocalized molecular orbitals that span across 3 or more atoms. These extended orbitals, formed from overlapping atomic p orbitals, lead to a lower overall energy state for the molecule. This inherent delocalization explains the observed resonance energy and enhanced stability, providing a more accurate quantum mechanical description than simple Lewis structures. In benzene, for example, the 6pi electrons occupy 3 bonding molecular orbitals that are spread over all 6 carbon atoms, forming a continuous electron cloud above and below the ring. The extent and impact of resonance are governed by several key factors. Planarity is paramount. For effective p-orbital overlap and electron delocalization, the conjugated system must be planar or nearly planar. The greater the extent of conjugation, meaning more alternating single and multiple bonds, the greater the delocalization and, consequently, the higher the resonance energy. While charge separation generally reduces stability, if negative charges can reside on highly electronegative atoms, the resonance structure can still be a significant contributor. Ultimately, a greater number of significant contributing resonance structures, especially if they are equivalent, leads to maximum resonance stabilization, profoundly influencing a molecule's properties and reactivity. You've reached the pinnacle of understanding resonance. Now, prepare to tackle the first set of 5 challenging questions. These problems will test your comprehensive knowledge, analytical skills, and ability to apply resonance principles to complex scenarios. Read each question carefully, think critically, and apply all the concepts we've discussed. You've got this. Fantastic effort so far. Here are the remaining 5 questions for the hardest level. These questions are designed to push your analytical boundaries and reinforce your understanding of advanced resonance concepts, including its interplay with other theories in chemistry. Keep up the excellent work, and remember to think deeply about each problem before arriving at your solution. And that concludes our in-depth exploration of resonance. From its basic definition to its advanced applications in organic chemistry and molecular orbital theory, you've gained a comprehensive understanding of this crucial concept. Remember, mastering resonance is key to excelling in chemical bonding and many other areas of chemistry for G-Main and beyond. For more such engaging and detailed educational content, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates and to continue your learning journey with us. Keep questioning, keep learning, and keep growing. See you in the next session.